spoke.
"She's my date," Grandpa Leo said affectionately, ruffling my hair. "My son and daughter-in-law are traveling out of the country for humanitarian work, so she's staying with me for a few months. She's so well-behaved. Isn't that right, Greer?"
"Yes, Grandpa," I chirped obediently, but when I caught the frown on Merlin's face, something chilled in me, as if a cold fog had wrapped itself around me and only me, and was slowly leaching away my warmth. I dropped my eyes to my shoes, shivering and trying not to show it. The glossy patent leather reflected the shimmers and glitters of the gilded ceiling, and I watched those shimmers as Merlin and my grandfather began discussing midterm election strategy, trying to reconcile what I felt with what I knew. I felt fear. The kind of creeping, neck-prickling fear I had when I woke up at night to see my closet door open. But I knew that I was safe, that Grandpa Leo would keep me safe, that this stranger couldn't hurt me in a room full of people. Except I wasn't afraid of him hurting me or stealing me away, necessarily. No, it was the way his eyes had bored into mine, the way his disapproval of me had enveloped me so completely, that frightened me. I felt like he knew me, understood me, could see inside of me to all of the times I'd lied or cheated or fought on the playground, that he could see all the nights I'd been unable to sleep. My closet door open and me too afraid to get up and close it. All the mornings my father and I went walking in the woods behind our house. All the evenings my mother patiently taught me Tai Chi. All the fairy tale books I so adored. All of the treasures I'd gathered in the little treasure box stored under my bed. All of my secret childish dreams and fears. Everything. This man could see it all. And to be seen, really seen, was the most terrifying thing I'd ever felt.
"Leo!"
A man called from a few feet away. He was also with the party, and Grandpa gave my hair a final ruffle as he gestured to the man to approach him.
"One moment, Mr. Reese."
Merlin inclined his head gravely as my grandfather turned to speak to the other man. I willed myself to meet his eyes again, and then immediately wished I hadn't. His eyes, I now realized, had been shuttered when speaking to Grandpa, and they were unshuttered now, burning with something that seemed a lot like dislike.
"Greer Galloway,"
he said in that soft, not soft voice. Something like a Welsh lilt emerged in his words, as if he'd lost control of his voice as well as his eyes. I swallowed. I didn't know what to say. I was a child, and always my girlish demeanor had been enough to charm Grandpa Leo's friends, but I sensed that it would do no good here. I could not endear myself to Merlin Reese, not with smiles or dimples or twirls or childlike questions. And then he knelt down in front of me. It was rare for adults in Leo's world to do that. Even the women with children of their own preferred to stand over me and caress my blonde curls as if I were a pet. But Merlin knelt so that I could look him in the eye without craning my neck. And I knew, despite my fear, this was a sign of respect. Merlin was treating me as if I were worthy of his time and attention, and even though it was tainted with disapproval, I was grateful for it in my own young way. He reached out and took my chin in his long, slender fingers, holding my face still for inspection.
"Not ambitious,"
he said, dark eyes searching my face.
"But often careless. Not cold, but sometimes distant. Passionate, intelligent, dreamy, and too easily hurt."
He shook his head.
"It's as I thought."
I knew from the stacks of books beside my bed that the words of an enchanter were dangerous things. I knew I shouldn't speak. I shouldn't promise him anything, agree to anything, concede or lie or evade. But I couldn't help it. "What's as you thought?" Merlin dropped his hand from my face, and an expression of real regret creased his face.
"It cannot be you. I'm sorry, but it simply can't."
Confusion seeped past the fear. "What can't be me?" Merlin stood up, smoothing his tuxedo jacket, his mind made up about whatever it was.
Keep your kisses to yourself when the time comes,
he said. I didn't understand. I don't kiss anyone except Grandpa Leo and my mommy and daddy.
That's your world now. But when you are older, you will inherit this world,
Merlin said, gesturing around the room.
The world your grandfather helped create. And this world hangs on a thread, balanced between trust and power. Powerful people have to decide when to trust each other and when to fight each other. And those decisions aren't always made with the mind. They're made with the heart. Do you understand this?
I think so, I said slowly.
Greer, one kiss from you would swing this world from friendship to anger, from peace to war. It will destroy everything your grandfather has worked so hard to build, and many, many people will be hurt. You don't want to hurt people, do you? Hurt your grandfather? Undo all the work he's done?